The knot in your stomach when you hit purchase is louder than any alarm clock, reminding you that every swipe could be a step away from the freedom you've been chasing. I've been there, staring at a glossy ticket for a weekend escape, feeling the thrill of adventure and the immediate rush of guilt as the numbers blinked on my phone. That uneasy feeling isn't just a fleeting emotion. It's a signal that your relationship with money is tangled in fear and expectation. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through why that guilt shows up, how to reframe your spending so it fuels rather than stalls your path to early retirement,
and give you practical tools you can start using today.
What do you think about that feeling? Let me know in the comments. I really want to hear your story.
Financial independence, retire early. That's the promise of the FIRE movement, a lifestyle where your investments generate enough income to cover your living costs,
giving you the freedom to choose how you spend your time. The paradox is that the tighter we tighten our budgets in pursuit of that goal, the louder the inner critic becomes, whispering that any non-essential expense is a betrayal. It feels like you have to be a martyr, sacrificing every pleasure for a distant future that sometimes feels abstract. But the truth is that you can enjoy the present while still building a solid financial foundation. Let's dig into the psychology behind that guilt first. Our brains are wired with what psychologists call a scarcity mindset. From childhood, many of us learn to associate lack with danger, and modern media constantly reinforces the idea that we must hoard every penny. When you see a price tag, that old script flips on, turning a simple purchase into a perceived threat to your security. Then, there's the all-or-nothing fallacy. The belief that if you spend on something that isn't strictly a need, you're taking a step backward on the ladder to financial freedom. It's a black-and-white view that leaves no room for nuance. Add to that the social comparison trap of scrolling through perfectly curated feeds where every vacation photo and designer shoe seems to scream, "You're wasting money." All these forces combine to create a perfect storm of spending guilt. Take a moment now to ask yourself 3 quick questions. Do you track every cent that leaves your account? Do you feel a pang of guilt after a purchase that isn't a bill? Do you think you must be frugal 24 hours a day? If you answered yes to any of those, you're already holding the keys to the problem.
Recognizing these mental scripts is the first step to rewriting them, because once you see the pattern, you can start to change the narrative.
Now that we've uncovered the why, let's talk about how to shift the perspective. One of the most effective ways is to adopt a value-based money framework, where you allocate your income not just by categories, but by the value each dollar brings to your life. Think of the classic 50-30-20 rule, but tweak it for the FIRE mindset. 50% of your earnings go to essential needs: housing, food, transportation.
30% is earmarked for quality of life spending, the things that bring you joy and enrich your experiences, whether that's a concert ticket to see your favorite band, a weekend getaway, or a new pair of shoes that make you feel confident.
The remaining 20% fuels your investments, the engine that drives you toward early retirement. By giving yourself a dedicated slice of the pie for enjoyment, you remove the guilt because you've already accounted for it in your plan. Imagine you earn $3,000 a month after taxes. Under this model, you'd allocate $1,500 to needs, $900 to quality of life, and $600 to investments.
When you see a new travel deal for $500, you can check your quality of life budget, see that you have room, and make the purchase without the lingering dread.
It's not about splurging recklessly. It's about intentional spending that aligns with your values and your long-term goals. Another powerful tool is the concept of spending windows. Instead of reacting impulsively, give yourself a 24-hour pause before any non-essential purchase. During that time, ask yourself 3 questions. Does this item enhance my life in a meaningful way? Will it bring lasting satisfaction, or is it a fleeting desire? Does it fit within my allocated quality of life budget? If the answers are yes, go ahead. If not, let it pass. This simple habit reduces the emotional hijack that often leads to regret. Finally, consider the future self visualization exercise. Close your eyes and picture yourself 5 years from now, living the lifestyle you've designed, perhaps working part-time, traveling, or simply enjoying more free time. Now ask that future you, would you thank yourself for skipping this purchase? Or would you wish you'd allowed yourself this experience?
Aligning your present decisions with the feelings of your future self creates a bridge between short-term pleasure and long-term fulfillment, turning guilt into a strategic choice.
All these strategies work best when you track them in a simple spreadsheet or budgeting app, marking each expense against its category.
Seeing the numbers line up with your plan reinforces the habit and gradually quiets the inner critic. Smash that like button if this resonated, because the more we share these ideas, the more we can all break free from the guilt cycle.
In the next segment, we'll dive into 3 actionable tools you can implement right now.
And I'll share a real-world success story of someone who turned their spending guilt into a catalyst for financial independence.
If this is opening your eyes, hit subscribe and join the journey toward a life where money works for you, not the other way around.
Now, let's dive into 3 actionable tools you can start using today,
each designed to give you a clear path forward without feeling like you're sacrificing the joy that makes life worth living. The first tool is what I like to call the 1-month trial. Whenever you're eyeing a non-essential purchase, set a timer for 1 month and treat the item as a trial period in your mind.
During that month, you can still enjoy the experience you're craving, perhaps a coffee shop visit, a new hobby class, or a weekend getaway by finding low-cost alternatives that give you a taste of the same feeling.
At the end of the month, evaluate whether the original, higher-cost option truly added value to your life.
If it did, you can allocate a portion of your quality of life budget to make the purchase without guilt, knowing you've already proven its worth.
If it didn't, you've saved money and learned a valuable lesson about what truly satisfies you. The second tool is the envelope rotation system. Take a physical or digital envelope for each spending category that matters most to you. Think of categories like dining out, entertainment, personal development, and travel. At the beginning of each month, allocate a set amount of cash or a digital equivalent to each envelope based on your budget. When you spend, you move the receipt or a note into the corresponding envelope. When an envelope is empty, you pause that type of spending until the next month. This visual cue creates a natural pause that prevents impulse purchases and helps you see exactly where your money is going. Over time, you'll notice patterns. Perhaps you're consistently under budget in one area and over budget in another, allowing you to fine-tune your allocations and keep your overall trajectory on track. The third tool is the guilt journal. Grab a notebook or open a note-taking app and dedicate a few minutes each evening to reflect on any spending that triggered guilt during the day. Write down the purchase, the emotion you felt, and the reason behind it. Then ask yourself 3 probing questions. Did this expense align with my core values? Did it contribute to my long-term happiness? Could I have achieved a similar feeling through a cheaper alternative?
By externalizing the guilt, you transform it from an internal critic into a constructive conversation with yourself.
Over weeks, you'll start to see recurring themes. Maybe you're using shopping as a coping mechanism for stress, or perhaps you're undervaluing experiences that truly enrich your life.
Recognizing these patterns empowers you to replace unhelpful habits with healthier ones, gradually quieting the inner voice that tells you you're not good enough for spending. Let's pause for a moment. If any of these tools resonated with you, drop a comment below and tell me which one you're most excited to try.
I love hearing how you're planning to put these ideas into action, and your feedback often sparks new ideas for the community.
And if you've already tried any of these strategies, share your results, what worked, what didn't, and any tweaks you made to fit your unique situation.
Your experiences help everyone refine their approach and stay motivated on the path to financial independence. Now, to illustrate how these concepts can play out in real life, I want to introduce you to Maya, a software engineer who was once trapped in a cycle of guilt every time she swiped her card. Maya started her FIRE journey 3 years ago, determined to retire early and travel the world. She meticulously tracked every expense, but the moment she considered a weekend trip to the coast, a wave of anxiety washed over her. She would stare at her bank app, see the numbers, and feel as though she was betraying her future self. The guilt was so intense that she often canceled plans, missing out on experiences that could have enriched her life. Maya decided to apply the 1-month trial method to a long-desired yoga retreat she had been dreaming about.
Instead of booking the retreat outright, She signed up for a local yoga class and a weekend hike, both of which cost a fraction of the retreat price.
She kept a simple log of how she felt after each activity, noting the level of relaxation, joy, and fulfillment. By the end of the month, Maya realized that while the local class gave her a solid dose of mindfulness, the retreat offered a deeper,
more immersive experience that she truly craved. Armed with this insight, she reallocated a portion of her quality of life budget, saved deliberately for the retreat, and booked it without the lingering sense of betrayal.
The retreat turned out to be a transformative experience, and Maya returned with renewed energy, a clearer vision for her future,
and a stronger belief that spending on meaningful experiences can actually accelerate her FIRE goals by boosting productivity and happiness.
Maya also embraced the envelope rotation system for her travel budget. She created a dedicated travel envelope and set aside a modest amount each paycheck. When the envelope filled, she paused further travel spending and focused on other categories.
This disciplined approach allowed her to fund multiple trips over the year without dipping into her investment accounts. The visual cue of an empty envelope reminded her that she had reached her planned limit, eliminating the guilt that usually accompanied each new travel idea.
Finally, Maya kept a guilt journal for 6 months. She discovered that many of her guilt spikes were tied to social media scrolling, where she compared her life to curated highlight reels. By writing down these moments,
she recognized the pattern and replaced late-night scrolling with a short meditation routine.
The journal also revealed that she often felt guilty after buying books, even though reading contributed to her personal growth and career advancement.
By reframing these purchases as investments in herself, Maya eliminated the negative self-talk and embraced the value they added.
Maya's story is a powerful reminder that guilt doesn't have to be a roadblock.
It can be a catalyst for deeper self-awareness and smarter financial choices.
She now enjoys a balanced lifestyle where she can indulge in experiences that align with her values while staying
firmly on track for early retirement. Her net worth grew steadily, and she celebrated her first FIRE milestone, being able to cover her living expenses with passive income while still
planning her next adventure. What about you? Do you see any parallels between Maya's journey and your own? Have you ever felt that a purchase was wrong because it didn't fit a strict budget,
only to later realize it added genuine value?
Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm eager to hear your stories and learn how you've turned guilt into growth. Let's bring everything together with a quick recap of the key takeaways. First, recognize the mental scripts that fuel spending, guilt, scarcity mindset, all or nothing thinking, and social comparison. Second, reframe your spending through a value-based lens, allocating a specific portion of your budget for quality of life experiences that truly matter. Third, implement the 3 actionable tools: the 1-month trial, the envelope rotation system, and the guilt journal. Each of these practices creates a feedback loop that aligns your present choices with your long-term vision, turning guilt from a paralyzing force into a helpful guide. Remember, the goal isn't to become a martyr who deprives themselves of joy,
but to build a sustainable lifestyle where money serves you, not the other way around.
By consciously choosing where to spend, you preserve the energy and enthusiasm needed to stay disciplined in your investment strategy. In other words, intentional spending fuels your FIRE engine rather than draining it.
If you found these insights useful, consider giving this video a thumbs up.
Your support helps the channel reach more people who are looking for practical ways to balance financial independence
with a fulfilling life.
And if you're ready to dive deeper into the world of FIRE,
hit that subscribe button and join our community of like-minded seekers.
We post new videos every week, covering everything from budgeting hacks to investment strategies,
all aimed at helping you live on your own terms.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a final thought experiment. Close your eyes and picture yourself 5 years from now, living the life you've been working toward.
See the places you've traveled, the hobbies you've cultivated, the freedom you feel each morning.
Now ask that future version of you, what would you thank me for today?
If the answer is, for allowing yourself to enjoy life while staying on track,
then you've already taken a huge step toward dissolving that guilt. If the answer is, for being too strict and missing out,
then perhaps it's time to loosen the reins a little and let joy seep back into your daily routine.
Thank you for spending this time with me.
I hope you feel empowered to rewrite the narrative around spending and to embrace a balanced path toward early
retirement. Keep experimenting. Stay curious.
And remember that every small adjustment you make brings you closer to a life where you control your time and your
money.
Until next time, stay purposeful and keep thriving.
Remember, the path to financial independence is not a straight line, and the occasional detour to enjoy a concert,
a weekend road trip, or a new hobby does not derail your progress, it enriches the journey.
The key is to keep the compass pointed toward your long-term vision while allowing yourself the freedom to celebrate
milestones along the way.
When you notice that familiar knot of guilt, pause. Ask yourself whether the expense aligns with the values you've defined, and then decide with confidence.
Over time, that habit of intentional spending will become second nature, and the mental load will lift.
I'd love to hear how you've managed the balance between saving and savoring life's pleasures.
Drop a comment below sharing a recent purchase that felt rewarding without compromising your FIRE goals.
Or tell me about a strategy that helped you silence the inner critic.
Your stories not only reinforce your own learning, but also inspire the community of listeners who are navigating the
same challenges.
If today's discussion sparked a new perspective, consider giving this video a thumbs up.
Your support signals to the platform that this content matters,
helping more people discover practical ways to blend financial discipline with genuine joy. And, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you won't miss future episodes where we dive deeper into
budgeting hacks, investment tactics, and lifestyle design for early retirement. Finally, take a moment right now to visualize the life you're building. Picture the mornings you wake up without an alarm,
the places you'll explore, the relationships you'll nurture.
Let that vision guide each decision, big or small, and trust that you are crafting a future where money works for you, not the other way around.
Thank you for spending this time with me. Keep experimenting, stay curious,
and remember that every thoughtful choice brings you one step closer to the freedom you deserve.
Until next time, stay purposeful and keep thriving.